We're live with Cubfidential. I don't know where Denzel is. Usually does the intro, so he just threw me on. So you're seeing me, the host, JB Ellis of Cubfidential. Got an exciting week. The Cubs are on fire. They're going to play some meaningful baseball in the month of September. Our first analyst isn't so keen on it. We had a long talk about it. He'll explain his thoughts when we speak with him. But it's going to be an interesting show. The Cubs go into Pittsburgh, score a bunch of touchdowns and some field goals. They were playing the Steelers, but they might as well have been the way they were scoring points. It was crazy. Let's get started. Let's bring on Botkins. Let's just hit the road running here.
What's up, JB? Man, it is the Cubs are hot. I mean, we are hot. You said it off the bat, and we did score more. If we said points instead of runs, we scored more points in these games than the Bears will in the first two or three games of the season. So there's that.
Yeah, that's quite possible, to be honest with you. So let's start right away. Let's start with the Detroit series. The Cubs take 2 out of 3. Amaya hits his first grand slam in the 10-2 victory in Game 3. Detroit's a team similar to us. They're a lot of young talent. They're up and coming, but they're not there yet. Either are we. We're not winning the World Series this year. But, so it's kind of good to see two teams with a young base, a young core, learning how to win. So what did you see in the series over the 3 games?
First, we'd be remiss if we didn't, tip our cap to one Almago in Javi Baez's return. And he did what Javi Baez does now. Strikes out a lot and is batting about 115. And now he's on the IL for the rest of the year. He's having hip surgery. My theory was like, hey, we took 2 out of 3. Probably should have got a sweep here. The bats are hot. I mean, we are since July 4th, the Cubs are one of the hottest teams in all of baseball. The 2 guys who are killing it right now is Miguel Amaya and PCA. People who were saying these guys were washed at the beginning of, at the All-Star break or whatever. I said PCA should be playing every day, and by God, he's proved me right. Miguel Amaya has improved tremendously with his swing through the second half of this season, and he's showing what kind of caliber baseball player he can be. He's been absolutely crushing it.
Yeah, I mean, now we're getting to see the bats come to life, and with the starting pitching being as good as it's been all year, if it can continue to do this, and they start hitting, this could be a dangerous combination.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this. Now we did score only 3 runs. We scored. I guess think we scored more runs in this Tiger series, but we scored 10 the last game. You look at this series, we scored a bunch. The Pirates series, the Marlins series, they scored 14 at one point. You know what I mean? Like our losses, we're scoring 3 runs or less, and then our wins, we're scoring 6 runs or more. It seems like for the most part on this nice little run that we're on.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at the Detroit series, who did you notice for Detroit? In their team.
Yeah, obviously you welcome back Javi. James Centalion didn't pitch so great on Wednesday's game, and that's a game we lost 8-2. He's been kind of up and down for the most part. Luckily, I don't think we had to face. I'm trying to look back; it's been a while. We didn't face their ace. What's his name? I'm going to butcher his name. It starts with a Trejed or something like that. It's or something like that. He has a weird name, but he's their ace. We didn't have to face him. Cubs handled business, taking 2 out of 3. It's a series with James Talion's up and down. If he would have just pitched, like the good Talion that we've seen him at times, we probably could have got a sweep there.
Yeah, I mean, would you take 2 out of 3 though? What's your thoughts on? Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's good enough. But the problem is with the Cubs, they're so far behind the 8 ball. Almost every game's a must-win game. If you guys are trying to pitch me the World Series, as in the group chat, or playoffs, in this group chat that we're all in, and you're over here, you got your boy Jacob trying to, back in 95, 87, if the Nantucket Wolverines, if they would have quit, they wouldn't have won the softball Little League World Series. Yeah, well, that's not them. That's not the Cubs, and that's not now. Like the Cubs are so far behind the 8 ball. We're 5 games back with a month to play. It's gonna be a long haul to try to catch up. The Braves are beat up, but they're still very good. The Mets are about just as hot as any team in all of baseball right now. So I'm not saying like the players are giving up. I'm saying I don't think we're gonna make the playoffs, and I still don't think that. It's nice that we're going on a little run, but don't try to pee on me and call it rain. And that's how I feel in this situation.
I think that's my new favorite quote. Don't try and pee on me and call it rain. You heard it here first. But no, I mean, think about it. Teams that end up winning long term, they go through this. The first year, they get into a race, or they barely make the playoffs.
Wasn't that last year though? We did the same exact. That's the thing, is that we did the same exact thing last year. Okay, well, it wasn't Ross. It was Ross. He was the problem. So we bring in Craig Counsell. That's, you know what I mean? And we still had started off good, a lot of hope, and then we decided not to play baseball for 2.5 years. And we do got a lot of young kids and talented kids. I just question, like, we need to go out and get a bona fide home run threat, a guy that you look in this lineup and say, we can't pitch to that guy. And I know it's there's very few of those guys out there, but they're out there. But nothing has told me that the owner and the general manager are going to go get that piece right now.
All right. Let's move on to the Miami series. The Cubs go down to Miami on the road. They take 2 out of 3 in the ugliest ballpark in baseball. Suzuki went deep twice in the 14-2 in Game 2. Imanaga gets his 10th win. PCA hits an inside the park home run, which he ran around the bases in 14 seconds flat.
Yeah. I mean, my wife would have been happy with that because I can only go for 13 seconds.
Got to work on that, Buckins.
I'm trying.
You got to tell her practice helps.
Yeah.
So,
in one of them games, the Imaga and Shota made history. They become, I think, like the first 2 Japanese players, 2 home runs, and to do what Imaga did as well. So they made history. Seiya has been absolutely hot. He's been in fuego as well with the power bat as well. We finally reached 500. You're like, oh, we won the first 2 games. We're finally 500. And then that was short-lived because we lose the next game. But that was kind of the major point takeaway from that series was like, hey, we're finally at 500. It was the first time at that point in time since June 5th. This is the first time we're over 500 since May. So there's that.
Right. So, I mean, again, another pick where another series where you go 2 out of 3 against this. I would say the Marlins are a bad team. I wouldn't even characterize them as I would the Cubs in Detroit.
They're like White Sox territory, just not quite as bad. Real quick, JB, I missed. Here's the stat I was looking for. The Cubs are the first team in Major League Baseball to have one Japanese-born player notch 3 extra base hits and another Japanese-born player earn a win in the same game. And no, Ohtani didn't do that. It was the Cubs. So that was the stat I was looking for there.
So taking 2 out of 3 against a bad Miami team on the road, are you okay with that, or is that one of those things?
It's like we were up until the Pirates series. It's like, man, we can't get a sweep. Like, can we finish off the sweep? And it's just like every game, and you want to win the series. Like that's, I'm not saying like we have to go undefeated. That's not going to happen the next 30 games. But you want to win the series. You got to beat the bad teams, and we do got a couple good outside of the Dodgers-Yankees series coming up. We do have teams that we should be able to take advantages of, but you got to win. You got to win these games. You got to win them.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they finally got back to 500. It was up before June 5th the last time. How do you think the mood of the clubhouse was? They get to 500, then the next day they go out there and they look flat.
Yeah, maybe they partied up too late in Miami down there the night before. They were too busy hanging on South Beach. Assad hasn't pitched. Man, I had such high expectations for him this year. He's been up and down in his first full year. He's 6-4 with the ERA of 3.15. He didn't have his best outing. You just kind of wonder. The game was a lot closer. It was 3-1, and till the 8th inning, and then the Miami scored 4, and you lose 2-7. So.
Yeah, it was, just a flat game, and it happens. Let's fly up to Pittsburgh where, Justin Fields won't be the starter for the Steelers. Maybe he should be hitting for the Pirates because, or pitching for them because they just did not have a good series. The Cubs swept them. Today they erased a 10-3 deficit, scoring 11 unanswered runs, and I believe 9 in the last 2 innings to win 14-10. What is it how does this team have the Pirates number? Because it seems that, every time they play the Pirates, they seem to just take advantage of them.
Yeah, we just got the number. We really got Paul Skeens' number. Like, he didn't do great against us. Outside of his debut against us, his last 2 times out against the Cubs have been a little rougher. He gave up a couple runs today. Kyle didn't pitch that great. There's a couple defensive laps there that we should have had today. But, kudos for this team to keep fighting and keep grinding out bats. I saw a stat today. Today's game, what was his name? Let me look Ben Court. He had 7 RBIs today, which is crazy. He had only 7 RBIs with the Marlins in 32 games. So kudos for him for stepping up and balling out today. 7 RBIs. That's a day. Put up 14 on them. And they had their 3 best pitchers going, and you still were able to knock them off. Justin Steele pitched as well last night. You win 9-5. The offense was just crushing. 18 on Monday, 9 on Tuesday, and then today 14. I'm an Iowa Hawkeye fan, JP. We can't score that many points.
So when you look at the pitching over the series, granted the Cubs scored a boatload of runs, but game 1 they gave up 8 runs. Today they gave up 14. Does that worry you at all? Because the starting pitching's really been the bright spot prior to the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it has been. It's been starting pitching's been the bright spot all season, really, with Imaga and Steele. And Italian's been up and down a lot. But it seems like we're solidifying the bullpen a little bit more. It's been kind of, Merriweather's now on the DL. We got Hodge, who's pitched well in when he's come in the late innings. But the lineup seems to finally be hitting with runners in scoring position and moving the line, which is what has been missing. And again, guys like PCA and Amaya are contributing in huge factors in that. Dansby Swanson finally came alive here recently in the last week or so. So he's been playing a lot better. But we have you look at this team, and it's like we do have some building blocks, I think, for next year if they can keep it going.
All right, Bakken. So where can people find you? And how was your episode that you had last Sunday, that big episode with your great guy?
Yeah, so I interviewed comedian Jason Prey. If you want to check that out, please do. He was awesome. It was an incredible interview. You can check me out right here on the Bodkin Show, right on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, do all the cool stuff that you're supposed to do. Check me out. We're always talking sports on Sunday morning. And then Wednesday nights, right after this show, I do my MMA show as well.
Sounds good, man. Great speaking to you. At least be excited. We're going to have September games that matter.
That's like I told you in the group chat. Says it's like might as well having blue balls. You know what I mean? I'm not satisfied until we're taking the girl home.
All right, man. Be good. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
All right. So from Bakken, we're going to switch it over to Jason. He's going to talk about the Cub explosion. How many Cub puns can one show have?
Yeah, tell me about it. This show is sponsored by the letter P, as in pessimism. And I would like to thank Jacob for getting Nick riled up a little bit more than he usually is. So thank you, Jacob.
Yeah, he's not high on this streak and this chance. Listen, I don't think they're going to make the wild card where they are, but at least they have a chance, and there's going to be meaningful baseball for the month of September.
Yeah,
that's all you hope for.
I kind of side with Nick. I'm pessimistic also when it comes to the Cubs. So I can understand theory or idea or pessimism. So
Oh, I get it, believe me, but at the same time, think of how bad it's been, and at least you're playing meaningful games. You got to get there, and at least you're on the road, not way back.
Yeah, I wish they played this like this in the first half of the season, and then we wouldn't be in the hole.
Exactly, But stranger things have happened. There was a pennant race in New York City way back in the day. With the Dodgers and Giants, where one of them had a huge lead, and before you know it, the Giants win the pennant.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee's lead has gone down. They were up, I think, 11 games at one point. It's down to 8.
Is it?
Yeah. So stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's gonna. I'm not out there predicting it. Don't say JB said that the Cubs would win the NL Central. No.
Yeah.
No. But they, stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the Cubs' explosion. 10 runs versus Detroit, 14 versus Miami, 18 and 14 versus Pittsburgh. Where did all this what happened? What changed?
I really couldn't tell you, man. I mean, obviously the production from the 8 and 9 hitter, with Amaya and PCA, man, helps tremendously. Right now, I think their OPS from the 8 and 9 spot this month is 1.041. It's the highest. And the Twins and KC are right behind them. So that helps out a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, PCA, that hustle on the inside the park home run, I mean, that was amazing. Once you saw that the outfielder misplayed it, he never stopped. He never slowed up. He was running hard from start to finish. And, that's what you want to see. You want to see a guy that's hustling, that's out there, that tries to make plays, and that's all he's trying to do.
Yeah. He definitely brings a spark to that team, man. And obviously with him hitting the inside the park home run, he's one of 4 Cubs players since, I think, 2016. So you got Suzuki, Baez, and Rizzo before him. So.
Yeah, it's a good company to be in.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's go outside of Wrigley. So we're going to go cross town, outside of Wrigley. Woman shot during 2023 White Sox game is suing the Illinois Sports Authority and franchise. Cites firearms are not banned at the venue. Does she have a case?
So growing up in that neighborhood, yeah, I would bring a gun to the park too. But I mean, there's no reason for anyone to bring a firearm into a ball game, man. I mean, that's insane to me,
You have to go through security to get into White Sox Park, guaranteed rate field, or whatever they call it nowadays.
Yep.
Comiskey times 4, ugly ballpark that nobody goes to, whatever the name is.
Yeah.
But you have to go through security before you get in. So I don't know. I think our producer has a little confusion on what she said, or I'm confused. I didn't see the article, but firearms aren't banned, first of all, right? That doesn't make any sense because you go through security. So if I have a concealed carry permit and I'm going into security through the metal detector, they're going to let me carry my gun in? I don't think so.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't think so either.
So I'm confused as to because it's not listed up, and I just got notified that she did say it in the article. So I'm thinking that this woman's off her rocker. Maybe she thinks she was at a basketball game because when you go through security, they're not letting you bring a gun in. It may not be on the list of things that can't be brought in, but I guarantee you it's not allowed.
Yeah. I read a little bit of the article today. I know she's suing for about $50,000 for, damages and all that good stuff. So,
and $50,000?
Yeah, $50,000. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, personal injuries and losses, and I know there was another person that got injured also too at the game, like off the ricochet and whatever. So. But yeah, it like I said, man, it's crazy. No one should be bringing a gun into a baseball game.
No, I mean,
hey,
there's.
Here
we go.
Just
Just really quick, I'm on an article right now. So, a woman who was shot while attending Chicago White Sox game at Guaranteed Rate Field on 25 August 2023 is reportedly suing the team and the Illinois Sports Facilities Authority. The Associated Press reported Tuesday she is seeking more than $50,000 in damages, personal injuries, and losses, and alleges the team and agency did not enforce the stadium rule prohibiting firearms.
Okay,
So,
so they
little more
didn't
context.
enforce it. Okay, I mean that could be possible, but then again, the city of Chicago didn't enforce the uh, no firearms rule if you don't have a concealed carry permit. So why isn't she suing the city and the
Yeah.
Chicago police? That I don't know. I think that's a weak case. First of all, have they figured out where the shot came from? I know originally they thought it came from outside the stadium at first.
Yeah, they according to the article, they couldn't tell where it came from, either outside of the stadium or inside. So
Right. So I mean, if the shot could have come from outside the stadium, what were they supposed to do? Police the area, send security guards out saying, "Do you have a gun? Do you have a gun?"
yeah.
You know.
I would police that area regardless.
Yes, it's not one of the nicer neighborhoods. You
No.
don't want to go there for Saturday night dinner with the
No.
wife or girlfriend. Not where you're gonna go hang out with the guys.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've been to the stadium one time. That's it. I don't need to ever go back. It's crossed off the list.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I drive past it on the highway every once in a while, but no reason to go back there.
Yeah, no.
All right. So enough of that foolishness. Anything to do with the White Sox just seems to be foolishness anyway. Let's go to the Hot Cup time machine. Back on September 15th, 2008, almost 16 years ago, Carlos Zambrano becomes the first pitcher in MLB history to throw a no-hitter at a neutral site, Miller Park. He struck out 10 en route to a 5-0 win against Jay. Is that your team, the Astros?
Yes, it is. I'm actually I'm actually doing a Hot Cub time machine that acknowledge that someone beat my team. See, I'm not, delusional like a lot of people. I acknowledge when, my team loses, even in a historical moment. A bit more context, Hurricane Ike actually forced the game to Milwaukee, to Miller Park.
Yeah.
Yes. So what do you remember about that, if anything, Jay?
Well, I mean, the ending was awesome. Obviously, when he got done throwing the no-hitter, I mean, he gets down on his knees and throws his arms up and, celebrates. So it was the first no-hitter since 72, Milt Pappas. So, and that was like the longest, I guess, years between no-hitters. So Milt Pappas threw one in 72, and then Zambrano threw one in 08. The longest streak before then was Jimmy Lavender in 1915 through Sam Jones in 1955, so 40 years. But yeah.
Yeah, interesting that they beat the Astros, though. I love hearing anybody beating the Astros. That's always good news.
Yeah, there was also another no-hitter that year also, and interesting enough, that was John Lester.
Wasn't against the Astros, though. Doesn't
count.
only no hitters against the Astros are good.
Yeah, and I will say too about that series, they were supposed to play 3 games, but they cut it down to 2. So that year, the Cubs only played 161 games.
Interesting. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't get carried away. We know your Yankees will choke on schedule. I'm the one that says that, so I mean, would it be shocking? I'm not expecting them to win. Although the Cubs should look at Juan Soto when his contract's up. There's the bat.
Yeah, definitely. But do you think Ricketts is going to shell out that kind of money for him?
He's got the money. Will he do it? It's another story. But first problem is having the money. If you have the money, there's always a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but they had a chance with Ohtani, and obviously that didn't work out. So
yeah, but did Ohtani want to come to Chicago is the question. We don't know if he did or he didn't.
Yeah, he'd rather play in the warm weather in LA. So
yeah,
I would too.
At his book he was there, so all the important. He didn't want to have to go into the DraftKings Sportsbook connected to Wrigley Field.
Yeah, there you go.
He's not allowed to do it, so he had his bookie all set up. All right. So Cub or Dud? The Cubs have 2 series coming up. They play the Washington Nationals and the Pittsburgh Pirates again.
Yeah.
So can they go 3 of 5?
Yeah, I believe they can. I mean, if they could do what they did to Pittsburgh in this last series again, there's a couple wins right there. I don't believe the Nationals are that great of a team, so yeah, I'm gonna say Cub.
Yeah, I think the 3 was a low number. I think it should be at least 4.
Yeah.
I think that these are winnable games, and where they are, if they do want to have a shot at the playoffs, you're going to need 4 or 5.
Yeah, and I think I'm pretty sure they have one of the easiest schedules for the remainder of the season. So
Yeah, I mean the tough games are the Yankees and Dodgers. After that, everything else is winnable.
yeah, definitely.
So, all right, Jay. Any other thoughts before we wrap up?
No, that's about it, man. Good to be back on the show.
Definitely glad to have you. But everyone, that was another episode of Cubfidential. Cubs big comeback win today in Pittsburgh. Sweep the Pirates. We got meaningful baseball in September. It's going to be interesting. We'll see you next week. This is JB Ellis, and this is Cubfidential.